Welcome back to day 18 of the 30-day coding challenge. Today we're going to be building this social media dashboard. If you're new here, hi, my name is Zoe. I'm a software engineer and former university professor who loves teaching folks how to code. If you're interested in learning how to code, check out that first link in the description below. But without further ado, let's hop into today's challenge. Alright, so, we're going to be building this social media dashboard out. Basically, we're going to have, stats for Twitter, Facebook, etc., and then we're going to actually build it out that we're able to switch the, from dark mode to light mode. We're going to switch the theme, basically, based on what mode the user wants to put it in. So, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I got this, this challenge, this design, I should say, from Frontend Mentor. So you can check out the link in the description below. I'll have that link down there. And then if you want to use the starter code that I have that also linked on my GitHub and also down in the description below. So first things first, I started up the app using my starter code, but I also went in and created a couple of JSON blobs, a couple of variables that have just the information that I'm going to need for the statistics here. So rather than trying to sort of put it in on the fly or put it in dynamically, we're going to just use the data that I've put here. So I've just gone ahead and thrown them into a couple of variables. So that's what I'm going to be referencing throughout this tutorial. And then I've also grabbed the images, mostly just the icons and things like that, from the same starter from Frontend Mentor. So if you do use their starter, you can access those icons and images as well. All right, so first things first, we're going to clean up the styles a little bit. Let's take a look at the colors that we have going on here. So it looks like there's like a little, what is this? Some sort of section here that they want us to use as the background color. So I guess we'll have two background colors. We'll have this like larger background color and then a secondary background color. Okay. So it looks like this is the background color. So we'll set that. Although actually, before I go and set it here, let me think about this for a second. I'm going to clear these two out and then I'll think about how I want to set up the backgrounds, etc. I think because I'm going to want to change it, I'm going to want to set it here in order for it to be easily modifiable. So I'm going to say body HTML, HTML margin 0. Padding 0. Oh, interesting. I wonder why that is happening. Okay, I think it's because the HTML background isn't set. Got you. Okay, so I think what instead I'll do then, I'll actually set HTML dot light. Background color is going to be this. And HTML background color, actually, background color is going to be this. Oh, interesting. It's not changing at all. Oh, you know what? I'm putting it in the wrong file. That's why. All right. There we go. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Cool. So close that out. Go back in here. So yeah, that's going to be our dark background color. But if we're set to light mode, we want to use a light background color. So I think one of the first things I'm going to want to do here is set this to a client file. And then I want to basically set up the state for my toggle for dark mode. So we're say use dark mode, or I'll say dark mode. We'll say toggle dark mode. We'll say use state. And right now we're going to start off dark mode is going to be true. And so if dark mode is true, we want it to be this color. If dark mode is not true, we want it to be, let's see, this color. Yeah, just regular old white. So, cool. So far, so good. And this box, we're also going to have the height be 100 view height. Perfect. Awesome. The next thing we want to do, let's take a look at the design. I'm going to add in, oops, this nav, which will contain our dark mode toggle. It's not, and it's not much of a nav, it's just really this sort of box here. So we'll start with the title, going to be the H1 here, social media dashboard, and then total followers is a smaller typography element underneath, and it'll be that. This is going to be white. This color is going to be this kind of purplish color. Cool. Oh, and then make that white. And I think everything I do here is going to be swapping, yeah, when there's dark mode versus light mode. So I think I should just get used to doing dark mode, question mark, do this. If not, do that. Because I think that's going to be the default. Dark mode, if not, it should be this. Cool. All right, so we have that. So this is, let me wrap this in a box. This is gonna be that like top nav, and then these two are gonna be on one side. Oops. And then we're gonna put this toggle. I think we can use a switch from here. Switch. Yeah, we can use a switch. For the other side. We'll say that. Cool. We don't need the label. Yeah, and by default it's going to be on. And then we'll put a little typography element next to it that says dark mode. So they know what they're switching on or off. Dark mode. And then again with the colors. Dark mode. If not dark mode, it's going to be this. Good. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, so far so good, not too bad. I think, yeah, we need to wrap these two in a box. Oops. Box. And then, whoops. Let's see. This is the box with the text. For this box, I want to set it to display flex. So this is the box that's holding the text and the switch, dark mode switch. And then we'll say justify content, space between. And I think, yeah, we do want to add some sort of container for all of this. So I think we're going to just maybe we'll drop a container here. We'll say container. And we'll say, we'll do max width is large, but I think we're going to need some margin on top. Yeah, we'll say 36 margin top. Let's go with 2 rem. Oh, let's go with padding top. All right, cool. Looking pretty good. Dark mode, light mode. Oh, and then this needs to be Flexbox. And then now to hook into this, I think, is it on change, on switch, on change, handle change? Yeah, I think it's on change. So on change, set toggle dark mode to be the opposite of dark mode. Let's see if that works. Okay, awesome, working. So let's clean up the styles a little bit. I will say align items to be centered. Do that. Good. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So far, so good. I don't know if I'll be able to target the inside of that just because it is a material UI component, but if not, if we can, we'll try that a little bit later. What I want to do now is start building out these little cards because that's going to be kind of the bulk of the work here. So looking at it here, there are 4 like sort of larger informational cards, and then there's like a today section of like changes. So I think I'm going to call these like platform summary cards, like a platform summary card, and we'll make a sort of like a base for that and plug in our data, and then we'll make like interaction cards and then make a base for that and then plug in our data. So let's create one of those. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna say new folder, components, and then we'll say new file, platform summary card, because like each is a platform: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. We'll say box, and actually, yeah, I don't think we actually need to make this a client component. What it's gonna take in though, it's gonna take in dark mode, because that's gonna be important. Every component basically, we can either prop drill dark mode or we can do it in a global state. And I think because it's a very straightforward app, we'll just prop drill it. But if it was a more complex app, we could do something different. We could put it in the global state. So we'll say platform summary card is going to be a box. The background color, let's see. Is this the fill? It seems a little dark. All right, we'll go with this as the fill. We'll say and it's background color based on the dark mode. So if dark mode is true, dark mode, yes, do that. If not, do this. All right, and then it's gonna be, oh, it has this little border on top too. How should we handle this? Say border top? Yeah, border top, maybe 4 pixels solid. 4 pixels solid. Oh, and you know what? This is actually going to take in a lot of stuff. It's going to take in all that information. So I think one of the props I'm going to pass is color, and it's just going to be the hex. So I'm going to pass in color, and then it's going to be that color. So 4 pixel solid color, and then we're going to say border radius. I'm just going to assume 1 rem for now. And then, yeah, let's put in these pieces here. So first line, I want to start with a box. I'm gonna actually put in an image here. So we'll say image from next image, and the source is going to be, again, this is something I'm gonna import. This is gonna be, let me take a look at how I defined it in my data. Platform icon. So source is gonna be platform icon. Alt is going to be icon. And then the height is probably 16, width probably also 16. And that's going to be the image there. Beside that, we're going to have the handle of whatever platform it is. So we'll have a little typography element next to it. And oops, this will be the color if it's dark mode. So we'll say dark mode. If it's not dark, whoops, if it's not dark mode, the color is going to be this color. Is that the same color? No. They're very close though. They're very close colors. I wonder if it could have been the same color. Maybe it doesn't work. without the background. And then here we'll say, whoops, display flex, so they appear next to one another. Save that. And the good thing is we'll spend a lot of time making this one little card, but then we don't have to make it again. So that's the nice bit. All right, so the next bit here is going to be the 1987 or whatever number it's going to be. And sorry, within this is going to be, I should just keep my data file open. Here it is. It's going to be handle. I should close this. Yeah, it's going to be handle, string, handle, and here, handle. That's what that's going to be. Oops. And then next typography element is going to be the audience size. Whoops. Audience size. We're also going to take in the daily change. Daily change. I think that's it. Oh, audience type. So it's going to be like followers or subscribers. So audience size is going to be that element. So we'll say font, color, dark mode. If yes, we want the color to be white. If not, we want the color to be this color. We'll save that. Okay, good. And then size-wise, we want it to be 56 pixels. And then font weight. It's probably going to be 600 to 800, so we'll save that. All right, so then under that now, we'll have another typography element, and this is going to be the audience type. And the type is going to be whatever this thing is, followers, subscribers, etc. And we'll say color, again, dark mode. If yes, will be that. If no, it's going to be this. Okay. At some point we could just do a theme and just say dark mode or light mode and have different themes. And then last step here is going to be, what was it? Daily change. Daily change. And the color, it's actually going to be something different. So we're going to say color, daily change greater than 0. If it is, if it is, then we want the color to be this green. But if it's not, like if it's a negative number, because we have some negative numbers in there, we want it to be this red. And we'll see if that works for us. Okay, cool. So that's the initial styling. One thing I also know that we're going to want to do is we want to set this to a flex box, and then we want to use the column direction, and then we want to, align items to the center. Yeah, and I think, well, let's see what it looks like, and then we can plug and play, put some more information in there. So on the main page here, outside of our sort of top nav there, let's go ahead and we'll map through these. So we'll say it's the audience stats. So we'll say audience stats dot map for each stat. We want to go ahead and return a platform platform summary card, stat, so that will pass in all the stat information, and then we also want to pass in dark mode. And pass in dark mode. And save that. And then it also needs a key. It's going to be stat dot, let's do platform icon. That should be unique because there's 4 different platforms. Cool, and that looks good. Let's see how these look. Okay, that's pretty close. That's not bad at all actually. I think what we need to do is display them in a box and make that box a flex box and do all of that. So let's do box. We'll say display flex. Then yep. And we'll say justify content. We'll say space between. Good. And then we'll add, let's see, we can add a little margin to the top and the bottom of that outer box. Margin, top and bottom, 2.5 rem-ish. Yeah, just give it some space there. And then for the actual box itself, we can add a lot of padding. So we can say 32, 64. So we'll say padding, 32, let's say 2 rem, 4 rem. Yeah, there we go. I'm happy with that. That looks pretty good. Oh, we're missing the color for this one. Oh, you know what? I think that was because of the way I wrote the code for that. I think maybe you need to do a linear gradient. Maybe that'll work. Maybe not. Inspect it and see if we can get it working. Oh, there's a little extra letter there. That's what's wrong. No, still not working. All right, never mind then. We can fix that later. All right. Next thing I want to do, just kind of align a couple of things. So we'll say align item center. Give it a bit of margin. We'll say margin left. We'll say 0.5. Oops. Actually, we'll say 1 rem. Save that. Good. And awesome. The colors are working. So we're seeing 12 and in green, like the positive numbers in green and the negative numbers in red, which is exactly what we wanted to happen. So that's great. We'll say font weight should be about 600. Save that. And let's see, audience type. We'll say text transform uppercase. And maybe put a little bit more margin below that. We'll say margin bottom 1.5 rem. Cool. And that looks pretty good to me. I think that's pretty solid. Let's move on to the next section, the next card. So the next card, that was platform summary card. This is going to be like audience interaction card, or maybe I'll call it interaction card. So we'll create a new file, interaction card. Save that. And for this one now, it's a much more straightforward card. Actually, let me throw in this header as well, because that's kind of important. So on the page, right below this, add another typography element. Drop that in there. We'll say SX color, dark mode. Yes. And you can see how much easier it is to put in the dark mode and the light mode information when you're actually building it for the first time versus going back in and trying to add it in later. So I definitely recommend doing this in your first pass rather than after you've done it. You know, you've gone ahead and built it in light mode and then you want to go back and change it into dark mode. It's just going to be a lot easier. All right, overview today, 24 pixels. good? Cool, looking good. All right, so yeah, looking at our interaction card now, it's going to be quite similar to the other card, just with a few fewer flourishes. So we'll say box. And yeah, so it's basically going to be a box with it's going to take in 4 elements. And I define these already here. Interaction type, platform icon, count, and percentage change. So I'm just going to go ahead and declare these variables in the interface. So, and again, if you don't want to use TypeScript, you don't have to. You can definitely just use JavaScript if you prefer to do that. And you can skip some of these steps. String, number, interaction type, platform icon, count, percent changed, props. Cool. And then you can actually, I think, borrow some of the styles from this box. Oh, and then dark mode, Boolean. Yeah, we can borrow some of the, like the background color based on the dark mode is going to be the same, so we can borrow that. We could have made like a base box, but we did not. But that would have definitely been something, a potential option there. Border radius is going to be the same. Flex direction will probably be column. Do that. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, so that's the outside of the box. Now we get to the inside. So we're gonna have, I think, probably 2 rows. And we'll separate these 2 into rows and these 2 into rows, and that's how we'll build it out. So I'm gonna say in this first box, I'm gonna say it's gonna be what is the interaction type and a topography element. Okay. And again, dark mode, question mark. Light mode is going to be this one here, very similar, but not the same. Okay. And then this is going to be a flex box. Justify content space between. So it's going to be a typography element and then an image from next image. And the source is going to be the, platform icon. Alt is going to be platform icon. Height 16, width 16, we'll save that. That'll be box 1. Box 2, which will be the lower box, will be display flex. Same thing, I'm going to do justify content space between. And here as well, we're going to do justify content space between, so they have some space between them. And then it's going to be the number and the increase or decrease. So it's going to be the count. That's what we called it, typography. We're going to say count. And the count is going to borrow the same coloring as the audience size. So we'll just borrow that. And then the actual size of this is going to be 32. So we'll say font size 2rem. Cool. And then the second typography element is going to be the daily or percent changed. Oops. Percent changed. And we're also going to borrow some styles from here. We're going to borrow this whole piece there. Oops. Save that. And it's going to be based on if percent change is greater than 0 or not. And cool, that should be the base of what we need to do here. So the thing I need to do now is actually map over this underneath the typography element. So we'll say interaction, what did I call it? Account interaction. So we'll map over account interactions dot map for each interaction. We want to go ahead and return an interaction card. And we're just going to pass in all of the interaction props as well as dark mode. Oops, dark mode equals to dark mode. And then we need to set a key, which will be interaction dot, probably count. I don't think that would be, oh, and the, oh, count is probably string or number. Okay, cool, good to go. And so looking here, same thing. Oh, except we have this weird whiteness at the bottom. We'll fix that. Oh, you know what? It's probably, we need to make it bigger, or we'll just fix the way it's displayed. So we just need to wrap this in a box. Cool. We'll say display flex. And then we'll add some padding to these cards. So we'll say padding, 1.5 rem kind of all around. And maybe we'll set the width or the min width to like maybe 15 view width. I will say on the page, flex wrap. Good, awesome. And then we'll say justify content, space between. Awesome. And then we'll give these some margin on top. We'll say margin on rem. Awesome. That looks great. What else can we touch up? Oh, you know what? Let's fix the alignment of that second line. Say align items center. Do the same thing for the other one if we didn't. Align items center. Cool. And then if we've done it correctly, when I flip the switch, everything should swap. So let's see. Awesome. Pretty good. Looks fairly legible, fairly readable. I think, yeah, that worked pretty well. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe down below. And if you want to see the rest of the videos in this challenge, I'll link a playlist up here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.